Good afternoon, Simone. Thanks for joining us on the Member Monday.
Yeah, great to see you, David.
First questions are always the easiest. What's your name and what's your organization's name?
So I'm Simone Holligan, founder of emendWELL Inc., and we are a research consultancy based in Guelph, Ontario, and we are the developers of Subject Matters, an online platform to connect researchers with study participants for whether it's research studies, focus groups, interviews, surveys, and the like.
Can you give me an example of how some organization might use your product?
Yeah, so our target client is an applied health researcher. Say they're designing a clinical trial based on, manipulating uh, people's diets, maybe to reduce their risk of, say, chronic disease or, say, a physical activity program that they can do in the home. And so the researcher would be able to go on subject matters, post their survey. Well, they can create a profile within subject matters, but they can post their study particulars, and then they have access to a pool of study participants within the platform who can peruse what they posted and can contact those researchers directly.
And sometimes we like to ask, what's the problem that you're trying to solve? What does your product do that researchers or research partners might have struggled with before in absence of your product?
Yeah, so for applied researchers, we're sort of stuck in the past a little bit. So typically to recruit persons for research studies and surveys, and this is really in the academic world, we relied on posters, say in public places, word of mouth. Um, More well-funded research groups may be able to recruit if they're linked to a medical center or a hospital. But a lot of times, really, we're depending on getting the word out that our study is being run. And so recruiting participants for studies and surveys is actually a bottleneck in the process, and it can really take a long time. And so subject matters is just there to help with that connection, making it a little bit more efficient. It's just one tool that researchers can go to help their research program get up and running.
Is your product live today? Where can people find out more about it?
Yes, so it is live, and so folks can access it at mysubjectmatters.ca or at emendWELL.ca. And so they can go on there, they can create a profile, registration is free. If they're a researcher, they can see if they want to pay to post their study for 30 days, 3 months, 6 months, or a year. They can also create surveys within the platform as well. And you can also switch roles, so you don't have to be a researcher. You can also take part in other studies. So you can create a profile as a participant, and you can log in and see the studies that are available that are near you, or maybe can be accessible via online methods.
Awesome. Thanks for that overview. When did the company begin? How long has it been around?
So really, we just gotten started going last fall and into this year. And so we were part of the Accelerated Guelph program at the University of Guelph. And so that really helped us to get ready to go to market. So we've already beta tested some studies within the platform. We have some participants within the platform, and now we're just ready to go and engage with researchers, hopefully for late summer and the fall.
And not an official question, but has COVID accelerated the demand for your project? Has it delayed you at all, or is it pretty much business as usual?
So we're thinking that because of COVID, we would be more, aligned with what researchers would need. So, taking away that access to, word of mouth, maybe a little bit slowed down, as well as posting, putting up posters in public places. Like a lot of that has been taken away. So really having a centralized, online, accessible place where folks can, go and see what surveys or studies are available in their region, and they can log in and then contact those researchers right away. So we really see ourselves as a critical tool that researchers can access right now.
Awesome. Next question was, is that sometimes I don't know if you're at the why session, but have you done any work around why your organization exists or what the purpose is?
Yeah, so I was thinking about that. I would say, to better people's health and well-being. And so the cool thing about health research, wellness, a lot of times just going through a study, taking part in a study, or being a part of a focus group or doing a survey, people can learn about themselves. People can learn strategies that helps to work on an issue, when that's within their health, or how they're processing things, or how they're processing events that they have to deal with at work or in the home. And so a lot of times research, especially academic research, is ahead of the curve to what the general public would have access to, when they go to their doctor or when they go to a specialist, or what's available right now. So they actually have access to cutting edge research at no cost to them, and so they can really get to put things in place to help them better their sense of well-being overall.
Awesome. Good work. What's your background? How did you get into starting this company?
Yeah, so I'm a health researcher by trade. I really started at the benchtop, and worked with animal models, and then I worked with people in clinical trials at Penn State. Did some animal models and bench work at University of Guelph, and then went on to community interventions and really population level interventions at the University of Guelph and Public Health Agency of Canada. So got really dealing with the whole gamut of research, from when we were figuring out what things mean in terms of mechanisms, and what it can mean in terms of manipulating these mechanisms to improve people's health. And so, yeah, I've been there where you're trying to post your study, say on Craigslist or Kijiji, or putting up posters in a coffee shop. I've had colleagues who are spamming with posters in parking lots. A lot of times the parking attendant will take you down at the end of the day, but really, it is an issue that researchers that deal with human participants have to deal with. And so just seeing that, and I thought, we really something needs to be done, and I just thought I'd give it a try, so they can help myself and others as well. Mm-hmm.
So I'd say answers my next question is, why did you start your own business? Because you saw the need and you knew somebody had to do it, sounds like.
Yes, and really teaming up with some really amazing tech people, Dr. Sujata Dasgolapalli, who's a data scientist, and Mervyn Tan, who's a full stack developer. And so just coming together and figuring out, how do we make this work, So I learned from them, and they learned from me as well.
Awesome. Next question is, you joined the RHA Online. Do you think it's important to be part of a network like that? If so, why or why not?
Yeah, RHA Online has been so helpful. I think just really helping with motivation through this time. So a lot of times we are not in our workplaces, typically really cut off from hearing new ideas and coming up with new strategies. And so just hearing other founders and whether, seeing them in different stages, seeing them and how they progressed, has really helped me to really refine my message, really think about where I want to go next, and what it means for future products that emendWELL can bring.
Awesome. One last question I'd like to ask is there anything I should have asked you about but didn't, or anything you'd like to add? Next up is the lightning round, but if anyone's interested in finding out more about you, or did I miss anything that I should have asked?
No, not that I can think of. Not right now.
Awesome. All right, lightning round. Are you married, single? What's your status there?
Single at the moment.
Kids? Any children?
No kids of my own, but I do have a niece and nephew that I consider almost my own.
Awesome. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
It's Mars bars or Snickers?
No, I don't like either. I'm more a cookie person.
You're more which side?
Cookie person.
Cookie? Okay, what's your favorite cookie? Type of
Um,
cookie?
the ones with the filling in the middle.
Oreos?
Yeah, close. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie. Oh, that's a hard one. Um, I don't know. I'll have to come back to that.
All right, favorite book?
Favorite book. Um, I should have been more prepared. I don't know if I can choose one. I have to say I really liked The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe growing up. I had no idea it
Yeah,
had two meanings. That I
same.
really got lost in that.
Yeah, me too. It's a great series. Favorite game or video game?
Favorite game or video game? I used to be really into cricket. I don't know if you know cricket. It's very British.
Oh, yes, yeah, yeah. We used to play when we were kids.
Yep.
The Wicket.
Yes.
Can't remember what the club is called.
Okay.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
just called the club.
Yes.
Favorite vacation spot?
Favorite vacation spot. I really anything near water, and so I grew up near the ocean, and so anything near water. So I would say the Caribbean for now.
Nice. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
I heard yes, it can be. Yes. Yeah.
Good answer. You're banished to an island. You can take only one thing with you, and no, that's not people. What is the one thing that you take with you?
The one thing I take with me, I would say a pocket knife, just because of some like outdoorsy training I've had.
I think I've thought about what my answer to this would be. I think it would be like the Rambo knife, that has the compass and yeah, some extra tools. But yeah,
Yeah.
good answer. All right. Thanks so much for joining us today, and I really appreciate learning more about your organization. And congrats on the startup, and I wish you all the success.
Yeah. Thank you, David. Thanks for having me.